Today in Canvas, I want to begin to show you how to use the SpeedGrader for an assignment. I'm going to click on my AP Stat Sandbox, and I had created a fake FRQ, and I had written it on a sheet of paper. If you saw that video, I submitted that using the document camera and a mobile phone. And so that was really easy to do. What's also really easy is, as a teacher, being able to pull that up and grade that in SpeedGrader. So you can do this using your laptop, or you can do it using an iPad. I suppose you could probably even use it on a phone, although the screen there, if you're typing something up, kind of like grading it that way, that probably wouldn't be a big deal. But for math especially, we like to grade the parts and see where they've got things wrong. And so that would be really frustrating for us to try to do that, but totally possible. So here's the assignment that we have, and I submitted it. Now, depending on how big your screen is, sometimes you'll have a sidebar over here. If it's not on the right side of the screen, if you scroll down, everything gets put at the bottom if it's not on that one side. So I'm going to click SpeedGrader. I clicked on the assignment first. So clicking SpeedGrader out of the assignment is going to bring up this assignment, and it's going to bring up exactly the number of submissions I have. It's going to tell me who submitted it. It's going to tell me if it was late, if it's already been graded, or if it hasn't been graded yet. A couple of things. Let's just kind of explore the menu. You can download the document if you want to on your hard drive if you needed to. I don't really know why you would do that, but you could, I suppose, have a collection of them and keep them up to date with that. Here I can click on the grade book. I'm not going to do that, but you can post or hide grades. In this case, I don't have any grades. So here I can go to options. I can hide student names. I can sort them in different ways. At this point, really don't have a whole lot of options for those. But this tells me how many that I have graded. Obviously, there are 2 assignments, 2 people in the class. I have 0 of 2 graded. One of them has submitted it. Okay, apparently my wife is in my class. And so here I can click on them. This particular student doesn't have an assignment yet, so it tells me there is no assignment. But I get to see a few things. You can also click on this down arrow, and it brings up a list of all the students. If it is green, I believe it's graded. If it's orange, the student has submitted it, but it hasn't been graded. If it's red, I think that's the student that it's either they haven't turned it in, or it's late. But I think the 3 colors are red, orange, and green. All right, more importantly, let's look at SpeedGrader. You have a couple of things here. I can, of course, I guess that's refresh the page. If something happens, I can zoom in or zoom out on the document. I can also scroll up and down to see the entire document. Now, I submitted this as a PDF. You could have a Google Doc. You could have a Word doc. You could have all sorts of things submitted in terms of how you can turn in a document. I can make this go full screen. I can bring it back down. And the tools that I have to edit are located here at the top. Now, this is just the pointer. I can kind of move around on the document. Now, this is a PDF. So there's a couple things that PDFs lack. Obviously, that when you're looking at a PDF, you don't know. It's just a picture. You don't have text that you can manipulate or highlight or things like that. So using the highlighter tool, of course, you have the choices for colors, really doesn't do anything on a PDF, right? If you have a really high-level PDF that it can detect the text in that, like if it's a typed-up PDF, then you might be able to use that. But it's got some other cool tools here. I've got a little point tool. I can choose to change the color of the points, and what that does, it allows me to pinpoint a specific moment or location on my document, so I can say right there. What it does, it says, hey, there is a point here that you can't write on it, but I can call it out. I can also do a few other things. I can click the text feature. I can click in a spot inside this, and it will give me a text box that will allow me to type out specifically on the document if I really needed to. Here again, I'm limited here with the text box, with the PDF. But if I had text here, I could strike through text. If I wanted to say this was wrong, you should have done it a different way. This is the pen tool, which on a computer with a mouse, this is going to be really frustrating. If you have a really big touchpad, or if you had a tablet you could write on, then that would make this really nice. Of course, you can make drawings, which using a mouse makes it really difficult to do. However, I don't like those, right? Click the trash can. Of course, I can remove all these. If I click on the arrow tool, so I don't add more things, I can select my annotations, and I can remove them, or I can keep them there if I want to. I can just click delete. I can also select a box, so that I can make a shape. It's a rectangle. And I can go around, I can say this particular part, and I can leave a comment on that if I wanted to highlight an entire section rather than kind of marking pieces out. Of course, we're not going to do that. I could delete the comment, but I can also leave the box by, right? So be careful. I'm going to leave this whole annotation. And so you can go ahead, you can go through your entire document, and you can annotate, you can leave comments, you can do whatever you want to. I can go ahead here, I can click in the grade spot, the grade box, and I can type in the actual grade. If you have created a rubric, which is nice, they've got this quick rubric you can kind of run through, and you can click through that rubric and add the comments as you see fit. If you look at it this way, I can view that rubric, and I can click through, and it'll show up, and it'll add those points for me. It'll say, oh, look, you got 30 out of 40 points. I could save this rubric. I'm not going to save it right now. But if I've created the rubric, that's going to make it really, really easy and quick to grade. I could also say right here, if I wanted to add a comment on this particular section, I can. You can also come to the bottom down here where it says assignment comments, right? I can make an entire, like a one comment on the entire document. I can attach a file. I can even record a video file, and it'll bring up your window, and you can record that file right here, right in the document. I'm not going to do that right now. I could also upload another video if I've already created it, which I wanted to put a video on everything. So I could record it once and just upload it one time, maybe from a YouTube channel or something. And this is what your using your rubric would look like. Okay, now it's not going to let me save this because I don't have this student in PowerSchool. This was just a fake student account. Just wanted to kind of be able to talk about it. Let's see what this looks like when I move over to the iPad, right? This is going to open up a few other options that are a little different, but since you have an Apple Pencil, well, I hope if you have a stylus of some type, particularly the Apple Pencil is what I have. So I'm going to show you what that looks like using the iPad. This is the teacher app for Canvas on my iPad. I'm going to click on the AP Stat Sandbox, and I'm going to go into, I could go to the to-do list, or I can go into my assignments. Kind of like this view a little bit better. It'll give me, for this particular course, it's going to give me all of my assignments that have been turned in, and it'll let me know on each one how many has graded, how many have been submitted. In this case, I've got one that's been submitted, so I'm going to click there, and it's going to bring up this student needs to be graded. It will open it up. It's going to download that PDF or the Google Doc or whatever they've submitted to you. And what you're going to see is up top, you have the same kind of scenario. You've got the pointer tool where you can drop those points in and you can type up a comment. I've got the highlighter tool here again, not going to work on a PDF. I've got my text tool I can type in and I can leave a comment. I've got the strike through, which here again definitely isn't going to help me, not on the iPad or not on a PDF actually. But I've also got the box where I could say this part, I could leave a comment there if I wanted to. But this is what really helps. Over here you can see I've got my Apple Pencil. It knows that it's there, so it's allowing me to be able to write a comment. Right? And I've got the lines a little thick for me, so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to click on that pencil tool, click on the color, and I can adjust that line's thickness as far as I want to, or I can make it really thin, really thick. Okay, at this point you can choose any color to write on, and of course I can go all over this depending on whatever you want to, but this is a big deal. for math and science and any of those courses where you have problems that are worked out, wanting to go in and kind of pinpoint spots where they make points, or if you just don't like typing up things, if you like grading papers by hand and writing on them, well, this is going to make that almost feel like a paper experience. Okay, once you're done, it won't let me do that here again, just like last time. I can click over here on the rubric, and I can type up the part A. I can add a personal one. In part C, I did that. I clicked the plus sign. I said I wanted to give 9 points here, but not 10. And I can click that grade. It's not going to let me do it. I click OK. It won't save it. But then, so make sure that when you hit the grade, hit the plus sign right there. And you can type in, if it's not a grade, you can type in no grade, or you can excuse the grade. You can type in the percentage if you want to, if you wanted to customize it. It's not going to let me submit the grade because this person's not actually in my grade book. And so I click done, and I can go on to the next class. If I swipe left or right, in this example, I can also, if I had another submission, I could see that submission, and I can go there. But that is how you can use the iPad or your laptop using the SpeedGrader tool to almost make it feel like you've got the paper in hand, and you can grade them like you're used to grading them with paper and pencil, plus a new other few tricks that are nice to have right at your hands to be able to grade some of these things with. So I hope that was for math, for me, that's a super positive thing for an LMS kind of thing. So I hope that was really helpful to you, and we'll see you next time.